Olito Chamoengapa and Tuck Himak Pisama Shapisa La Shike Anayan Easy Ayan is buzzing. I just got off a Zoom call with Minneapolis Ilhan Omar, and they did a meeting with the Blue Caucus. And the concern that I was having, with not only the issues that they're dealing with there domestically, but I'm having issues in Michigan as well, Southeast Michigan, just outside of Detroit. Having problems with the districts and the councils, and enumerating legislation that would protect people who deal with mental health arms. Mental health arms. When you have someone who deals with mental health harms and they're constantly being profiled, they're constantly being human trafficked, they're constantly being put through the system and kind of put through probate. Because like the worst thing that you can experience as someone who has been accused of dealing with mental health or poor hygiene or mental issues, the worst thing you can deal with is being classified as someone who is incapacitated or as someone who can't handle living by themselves or living on their own. I see what people with mental health go through. This is one of the things that I had to bring up to state legs and also city legs, for your city council members, because, they're responsible for a lot of the things that we see, especially in places like Detroit, where you see programs that are underfunded and programs that aren't funded at all kind of take the place of police invasions, police terrorism, and police brutality. When you have someone who is, deprived of living ability, they are deprived of being able to enjoy life and the privileges that comes with breathing. You're constantly being called on by the community because you're looked at as a harm to the community, doing whatever it is that you're doing, and the fact that, you're just out enjoying life, right? Because the moment that you get a citation for mental health, if you will, in a sense that, you're called on and the police comes out and they investigate the issue and they take you to a mental health hospital and you're in there for a month or 3 weeks or whatever it may be. And, everything that you're experiencing at that moment is a breakdown. I want to see, business liaisons. I want to see community deputies. I want to see chief of staffs. I want them to look at this and say, you know what, we got to get the legislative director to look into possibly changing this stuff, and these are the things that I brought up to Rep Ilhan. Like, you have to look at it like this. With police getting funding and they're not solving crimes, they need to be defunded. If there's an issue in the community where someone is getting harmed, physically, that's the only time you need people on the ground to protect, the staff. This is the only time that you need a base on the ground that can go throughout the communities and make sure everyone is safe and that they have aid. If the police are being called because, a crime is in progress and they don't show up until like an hour late, that is an issue. That means the tax dollar is being misspent. So we have to look at it, one way and one way only. We need to make sure crime prevention is the top task. We need to make sure mental health problems, don't get exacerbated and mental health doesn't become an issue. We don't need mental health programs. They don't help. They don't solve anything. So this is what I'm trying to get past with the legislative policy directors and throughout the cities, and I'm trying to see what I can do about that. You know, I don't like the direction that this country is going, because if, you know, you get a police state and, you know, there's agitation, you know what I mean? All the homes in the cities like Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, they're going to be quartered by men who don't live in those communities. And you don't want that, because that means it's going to be civil unrest. So think about this. Great peace, Yakoki.